Okay. So, oh my gosh. Okay, so can somebody tell me one of the craziest like conspiracy theories that they found the other day about JFK?
His brother.
The girl.
Okay, pause. One at a time.
Okay.
Kennedy.
What happened to her? She killed herself.
What?
An accidental overdose.
JFK accidentally overdosed?
No, the girl.
What girl?
No.
What? Are you
I
talking about JFK or the...
JFK, like his assassination.
Oh,
no. I was gonna talk about his brother.
Yeah,
like,
we were talking
No,
about...
like one of
different-
the conspiracy theories about his assassination.
Oh.
Go, Paige.
The mafia was involved.
The mafia.
and
Okay.
The
Communist did
person
it.
who killed him got killed by a guy with ties to the mafia.
Interesting. Okay. Well, are you okay? Anyways, so Lyndon B. Johnson was JFK's vice president, for you guys if you didn't know that. So whenever he was assassinated, he took office, and then 2 years later, I'm pretty sure, he ran for election and got elected, obviously. So he was president after JFK. What we're going to do first is, I know some of y'all may have watched some of JFK's speeches the other day, but so we have one speech that's JFK's "We're Going to the Moon" speech, and then the next one we're going to watch is LBJ's speech that he gave at the University of Michigan to kind of present the Great Society to America and kind of what the Great Society actually was, and then we're going to go into more depth about what that looked like and why he did that. So pay attention to the differences, the differences between JFK and LBJ and how they were trying to get people on board with what they were going to do.
JFK's good looking.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of about a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write, to use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week, we developed penicillin and television and nuclear power. This is a breathtaking pace. And such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer. Rest, but wait, if this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago,
Okay, so what jumped out to y'all about that? Like how JFK was speaking or what he said? Patriotic? What made you think or like feel patriotic about what he was saying? So the way that he was saying it, or like I guess his tone, or what exactly he was saying? His tone? Okay. Somebody in another period, I can't remember which one, was saying that because it was short, like his sentences were short and to the point and they weren't super long and drawn out. Because you know how a lot of people who give speeches like this, they try and sound all smart and, you know, use big words and stuff like that. And JFK, especially in this one, I don't think really did that. Was there anything else that you guys noticed?
He's very sure that we're going to do this.
Mhm.
We're gonna do this.
Very confident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So next we're going to talk about LBJ, and the way that he talks is very different from the way that JFK talks. Yeah.
Did we read this one, the one we spoke, did we read that one yesterday?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I remembered it.
Good job. Excellent. It's my favorite. Really.
Purpose of protecting the life of our nation and preserving the liberty of our citizens is to pursue the happiness of our people. Our success in that pursuit is the test of our success as a nation. For a century, we labored to settle and to subdue a continent. For half a century, we called upon unbounded invention and untiring endurance to create an order of plenty for all of our people. The challenge of the next half century is whether we have the wisdom to use that wealth to enrich and elevate our national life and to advance the quality of our American civilization. Your imagination and your initiative and your indignation will determine whether we build a society where progress is the servant of our needs, or a society where old values and new visions are buried under unbridled growth. For in your time, we have the opportunity to move not only toward the rich society and the powerful society, but upward to the great society. The great society rests on abundance and liberty for all. It demands an end to poverty and racial injustice, to which we're totally committed in our time.
Okay, so how's that different?
It was boring.
It was boring. What?
Yeah, that was very.
The redneck. Well, he's from Texas, so.
He looked
He
like
didn't
his
sound
eyes
as
were
confident.
Pause. Wait, Kennedy. What?
closed. It looked like his eyes were closed.
His eyes were closed. Okay.
He
He
didn't
didn't sound
Nevaeh?
confident.
It just sounded like this is me happening.
No emotion.
So do you? If you guys heard that,
Like a bagel without
Would-
cream cheese.
a bagel without cream cheese.
It's like he had to say it.
So is JFK the bagel with cream cheese?
Yeah, definitely.
Wait.
And sprinkles.
And sprinkles. Yeah, Paige.
Like this one, it wasn't like he was talking to me. JFK is just like talking to us.
Mhm.
Let's
Just
just,
like talking at us.
Talking at you. So between the two of them, who would you rather follow or like get on board with their ideas?
JFK.
JFK.
But I do appreciate the camera and this one that keeps popping up behind it. I do appreciate that.
I'm glad you noticed that. That's what you were
I'm
focused
gonna have
on.
to go there, Mom.
Okay, well. So you can kind of see how obviously different presidents have different strengths, and JFK's one of his was speaking and kind of just being a motivational speaker and getting people on board with his ideas and his policies. But a lot of people forget about LBJ and stuff that he did, but he was super important. He kind of, got, trying to figure out how to say this. The Vietnam War really just kind of messed him up and really didn't let him do as much as he wanted to, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But so to give you guys a little bit of context about LBJ, and I'm telling you guys this because the way, or the background of these people really affects their past experiences affect the way that they act and the things that they find important, the things that they want to push through Congress and want to change within America. So like I said a minute ago, he grew up in Central Texas. He was born in 1908, went to Southwestern Texas Teachers College, and obviously became a teacher. And this is super important, so the whole reason that he even wanted to do anything about Americans who were living in poverty was because he had the opportunity to teach Mexican descendants in Texas, since it's right on the border. There was a lot of people who he got to teach and just understood their situation and understood that if they didn't have, they weren't in a certain circumstance, then they weren't able to live up to their full potential. So he really liked FDR's New Deal programs. He had a big emphasis on social welfare, growing that and growing the pool from which the lower class could kind of have more opportunities. So he was also a lieutenant commander in the Navy during World War II. So he was born in 1908. What all has he experienced? Everything, yeah. So what are some of the things that happened? Depression, the Titanic. I mean, okay, interesting. The Depression, World War I, World War II. He's seen all of that, so he's grown up in that. So you have to keep that in mind as well as you kind of understand the way that he's approaching certain things and the way that he approaches politics in general. So the main goal that LBJ had with the Great Society is that he wanted to address poverty and the related needs of healthcare, education, and housing for low-income families and the elderly. So this was a very humanitarian kind of outlook on the way that he was going to do things. And I have another quote real quick. So does somebody want to read this for me?
Come on, the bed.
Anyone?
Nose goes.
Nose goes. You'll do it?
Yeah, I'll do
Go
it.
for it.
Okay. The Great Society, where no man wants to work will fail to find it, where no citizens will be barred from any door because of his birthplace or his color or his church, where peace and security is common among neighbors and possible among nations.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Yeah. Thank you. So this was also kind of just a quote that shows you where his focus was. So obviously, in this second sentence it says that nobody's going to be hindered because of where they were born or what color they are or what religion they are. So him and JFK both were big supporters of, equality with African Americans and the white population of America. And that's just one part that you guys are going to go into in depth with it later. We're just going to kind of talk about the programs that LBJ started. So another thing that LBJ, this kind of takes us into the next part, he believed that all of the opportunities that these people who were in low-income families the way that they were going to get those opportunities was through education. So he pushed a lot of legislation through Congress to be able to make that to make it a priority within society. So he really believed that without education you weren't going to have much opportunity. So why not build up education to give more people opportunities? These are a few of the programs that he started within education. So Head Start is a way for underprivileged preschoolers to be able to go to preschool. National School Lunch Act. How many of y'all eat here and buy food in the cafeteria? Yeah, so y'all wouldn't have any of that if this hadn't have gone through. There wouldn't have been any food at school. So,
That's why I got McDonald's.
oh my gosh. So that provides, breakfast and lunch for students who are here and they don't have anything at home. So this was the only time that they were going to be able to eat. And obviously, if you don't have food, then you're not going to do well in school. So it's this, you guys can see this big cycle that just kind of all plays into each other. And then the Elementary and Secondary Education Act was funding for textbooks, library supplies, and special education. So before this piece, special education wasn't a huge thing, and it's still right after this wasn't, but these were kind of steps that were put in place to make it more accessible for people with disabilities to be able to have that one-on-one attention in school that they need. And then the Higher Education Act just made funding for scholarships, gave funding for scholarships and had more opportunities for low-income students to be able to afford and attend college, because that was a really big struggle for them as well. And then the National Endowment for the Arts Act was focused on funding and finding opportunities for artists, musicians, painters, actors, different things like that. So keeping those types of things in school and being able to support that and make well-rounded students and not just focus necessarily just on academics. Healthcare. How many of you guys have heard Medicare and Medicaid and those kind of words being thrown around? You hear your grandparents complain about it a lot? I do. So I didn't really understand what the difference between Medicare and Medicaid was until I looked into this. So Medicare is federal funding for the old people. So a lot of your grandparents probably pay for their medical stuff with Medicare. And then Medicaid is for people who are on welfare to be able to afford medical expenses. So this is, you can see in this little chart over here, benefits pregnant women, people with disabilities, and low income. Another difference between the two of them is that Medicaid is state and federally funded, whereas Medicare is just federally funded. And then for Medicaid, participants pay pretty much nothing for coverage, and then Medicare, usually you have to pay a deductible or like part of the coverage cost for that. So he pushed those through, and obviously, like I said a minute ago, you still hear your grandparents complain about it and try and figure it out, and complain, oh, well, this doesn't pay for that, it pays for this, though, this is just, dumb. So this is still a debate today. It's not something that just kind of, fixed everything whenever LBJ got it pushed through Congress. The next thing we're going to talk about is public housing. So this was another issue because obviously low-income families were struggling with finding places to stay and live. And so the Omnibus Housing Act provided money for low-income housing, and then the Department of Housing and Urban Development was formed to administer federal housing programs. So a lot of what this would do is that if different areas would keep their housing costs down, then the government would give them money. So it was kind of like a payoff, and theoretically it would have been a win-win situation for everybody involved. So then the next thing that we're going to talk about is transportation. So the Department of Transportation became a cabinet office during LBJ's term, and funds were funneled to help invest in different projects. The National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act was passed, the Highway Safety Act. So the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act set federal safety standards for the auto and tire industries. So, having to go get your car inspected, having to just different things like that to make sure that your cars are safe for you to drive. And then the Highway Safety Act requires states to set up highway safety programs. So it, puts things in place to be able to keep people safe. And then civil liberties. So this is the stuff that JFK and LBJ were both really big supporters of. JFK kind of started this type of stuff in Congress, and then it just didn't come through until LBJ was president. And a big thing, especially with these, before I kind of explain what they are, is, does anybody know what lobbying is? Okay, so lobbying would be like, so if I wanted teachers to have a raise and to get more money, and I just go up and march on march up and knock on the White House door, and Trump, for some odd reason, I don't get, shot by the Secret Service, whatever, listens to me, and I tell him, hey, I think that we should get a raise. And he just doesn't really care, because who am I? I'm just, one random girl that shows up on his doorstep. But if I go and I get, different congressmen and women to be able to support me and to be able to, fight on behalf of me, then that's going to, like, Trump is going to listen to that more, or whoever the president is going to listen to that more, rather than just, one person saying this is what I think should happen. So there's a scene, I was going to try and find it and show it to y'all, but there's a scene in this movie called Path to War. So LBJ, during this time too, he's not only having to try and, push through his programs of the Great Society, deal with all of the social, just really bad stuff that's happening with, like, civil rights and, all the riots and different things like that. He's also dealing with the Vietnam War. And so in this movie, it's kind of talking about that and how he deals with that. And there's a section where he sits down with a Mississippi, I think, senator. And if any of you guys know about Mississippi, they're pretty racist over there, in case you didn't know. And so he was talking to him about, the Civil Rights Act and different things like that, and getting legislation pushed through to be able to solve that problem. And how do you guys think he acted in that conversation? Not good? Do you think he yelled at him? No. Yeah. So it was really funny kind of to watch him, because he doesn't yell at him. He doesn't, disrespect him or anything, but he's very clear that, segregation and racism and different things like that is wrong. And that, this governor, actually, I think it may not have been a senator, but this governor knows that it's wrong. And so he's very clear in the fact that he knows that it should be changing, and that there's just no reason why it shouldn't. And so he ends up agreeing to, I think it may be a state law that he's trying to get passed in Mississippi to help out that kind of stuff. But LBJ was really good at negotiating with people and getting people to see his points and different things like that. So the Civil Rights Act outlawed discrimination and started the Equal Opportunity Clause. So that is, dealing with a lot of the Jim Crow laws and different things like that were, prohibiting African Americans from having equal rights with white Americans. And then the Voting Rights Act was more specifically tailored to voting, obviously. But so it banned the literacy test that they were doing, the poll tax that was actually later made illegal by the 24th Amendment too. But this, just addressed a lot of the processes that people had, made at the polls so that African Americans couldn't vote. And there's a lot more that y'all are going to talk about with that too, I think, later on. So this next part is probably one of the parts about the Great Society that people are the most familiar with. It's called the War on Poverty. Why do you think that LBJ wanted to call it the War on Poverty? Why not just, something a little less aggressive than war? Is it a serious problem? Yeah? Any other ideas? It's a big thing. Mm-hmm. In terms of, like, how many people were affected in America? Yeah. Think about what had happened not very long beforehand. Okay, not that far back. What kind of war? Yeah. So, do you not think that was kind of fresh on people's minds? And what happened in World War II? Did we win? That was kind of a vague question, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So a lot of people are very militarily minded, and that's still fresh on their mind. And so a lot of them have more confidence whenever they see War on Poverty, because, we're America, and we always, pull through and end up doing that. So the term War on Poverty really was a way that LBJ kind of got people on board with him. So what it did was it basically doubled spending from $1 billion to $2 billion on different programs that were going to help the poor. The biggest kind of part of this was the Economic Opportunity Act. This was an act that kind of just, it was a big umbrella and had a whole bunch of programs underneath it. So different youth programs, anti-poverty measures, small business loans, and job training were kind of what it focused on. And so the Job Corps Youth Training Program was one thing. The VISTA, which was Volunteers in Service to America, and then Community Action Program, they all kind of encouraged American citizens, especially lower class American citizens, to get involved and to just have something to do, to make them, you know, feel like they were actually worthwhile and not just, you know, going to sit at home and do nothing. And then another thing that's kind of, oh, is this frozen? Oh wait, why is this not moving?
You going?
No. Interesting. It's like the right one isn't working, but the left one's working.
You can go backwards and forwards.
Forwards. What in the world? Technical difficulty.
Is that the last one? I think the last one. We haven't been yet. Where'd it go?
What in the world?
Nice going, guys.
Why would that be gone?
I don't know. That's really strange.
Nice going, guys.
Okay, well, I know it's going to be a lot harder, but just listen to me and I can get through this last stuff so that we have time to do our activities. So the biggest thing that affects you guys that came through during the Gray Society was called the Appalachian Redevelopment Act. So this was targeted aid for highways, health centers, and resource development in economically depressed areas. So what this did was I-40, you know, that y'all take to go to Asheville and all that kind of stuff, 23 that you take to go to Franklin that way, it created those. So in the 50s is when highways actually started becoming a thing in America, but it wasn't until, this is so weird. It wasn't until the 60s that this actually got over here in western North Carolina. So what it did was all along the Appalachian Trail, you know, a little bit into Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. That was good, thank you. Thank you for that. It provided more opportunities for development in those areas. So if it weren't for that act, you guys wouldn't have that highway. Also, how many of you guys watched Sesame Street or anything like that when you were little? Yeah? So PBS, what it airs on, LBJ created that too because he wanted an educational public broadcasting service. So, fun fact for, you know, your day. If you go on Jeopardy and they ask you who created PBS, there you go. You can win money with that. You're welcome. So, the last part that we're going to talk about with the Gray Society is the environmental effect that it had on America. So the biggest thing, or not the biggest thing, listen really closely to this because I'm going to ask you guys who this kind of sounds like. The Wilderness Preservation Act. So what this did was it set aside over 9 million acres for national forest lands. Who does that sound like?
Teddy Roosevelt.
There you go. Good job, Paige. Brownie points for you. So another thing, the Water Quality Act and the Clean Air Act Amendment, both of those, the Water Quality Act just really, it required states to clean up their rivers, and then the federal government established emission standards for new motor vehicles in the Clean Air Act Amendment. I don't know if you guys have heard about, what was it, who said it in third period, the Paris Agreement that Trump pulled out of? Anybody heard about that? So basically what it was, I'm pretty sure, is that it was a good many countries. Oh, there it is.
It's just PDF.
That's all good. They had basically like come together and decided that they were going to try and work on emissions and, you know, air quality, different stuff like that, helping out to reduce pollution. And Trump kind of pulled out of that, and so a lot of countries view that as not good on our part because stuff like that with pollution, you can't do it country by country. We all kind of have to do it together. So, especially a country as big and powerful as the United States, it's kind of frustrating for a lot of other people. And then, so you can go to the next one if you want. I know that was kind of a lot of just random, laws that were thrown at you, and it might seem like it's not really important. But a big thing I kind of already touched on is that a lot of these programs didn't get as much kind of time and attention as LBJ would have wanted, just because of he was distracted by the Vietnam War. That really took a lot of his time because there were so many people unhappy with it, and he was trying to make the best decision. And he wasn't able to lobby with different congressmen as much as he probably would have liked to, I think, just because he was having to lobby with them to be able to get money to fund the Vietnam War, to be able to send the troops, send the supplies and different things like that we needed. Because his cabinet around him, there were several people that were encouraging him to continue to go into Vietnam and to fight this war. And then obviously with every kind of politician, there's political cartoons that either support or kind of make fun of these people, or the politicians, I guess. And then this is the big thing that you guys probably, it's hard to kind of imagine this amount of people, but 195 million Americans were directly affected by a lot of these programs that LBJ started. So that's not necessarily people that, were kind of secondarily affected. That's the people that were below the poverty line that got these, programs that were able to help them, get started and have more education, have more opportunities and different things like that. And then this last part, a lot of the critics of the Great Society said that it added layers to bureaucracy and gave handouts to people who didn't deserve them. So does everybody know what the bureaucracy is or no? No? Sounds like a really big kind of confusing word. Basically, it's people who have a lot of money, and because they have a lot of money, they have a lot of political influence. So they're not necessarily in office, but they have a lot of influence because these officials that want to get elected, they need money to be able to run an election and to campaign and different stuff like that. And then this last part, the fact that a lot of people said that it was just free handouts given to people who didn't deserve them. Do you guys think, who does that kind of remind you of, maybe closer to today? Think of like the 2016 election, maybe.
Well, they said that Obama gave out handouts, like the Republicans
Mm-hmm.
against that, because they said that they were just handing out like welfare and stuff to people who don't
Mhm.
deserve it. And it's like free insurance thing.
Mm-hmm. Obamacare. Yeah. There's one more person that
I can't remember his name, but
do you remember what he looks like?
no.
No?
Like I know his name. My dad didn't say something about it.
Are you thinking about Bernie? Yeah.
Bernie.
Lots of people criticized Bernie because he thought that because he's a socialist that he was just giving out free handouts to people kind of like this. So this is a trend that you can see over time. It's not just something that was happening during the 60s or that's happening now. Or, obviously there's been a divide in the economic class for a long time. So just having to figure out this balance and in the economy hasn't been something that just, was created overnight. And then one last thing that I want to ask you guys. So this program is called the Great Society. Do you think that a lot of these programs made it live up to the name? Like make America live up to the name, or no? Autumn, why do you say no? It's okay. It's not wrong. I'm just... No, there's not a wrong answer. It's just your opinion, and you have to have stuff to back it up, though.
No, never mind. I take it back.
You take it back?
Ready.
The question is, do the programs make it a great society, or do they live up to
Was it effective in making it a great society? Does that make more sense? You want me to ask it in a different way?
No, I get it. I'm just saying no.
Oh, no?
That's not why America's a great society.
Why is America a great society, Paige?
Because we're a free country, and the ability to change things is what makes it a great society, not the things being changed.
the ability to do that.
Wow, I feel like I should get a quote board with that on it.
That was deep, I like
That was
it.
really good. Good job, Paige. Claps for you. Anybody else? You can disagree with her too. What? You second it?
I third it.
Okay, so do you think America is a great society now?
No.
Yes. Because we still always have the ability to change things.
Not sure.
Kinda.
Not true. How do you say that?
Oh, it's not true. If you get put in prison for life, what are you gonna change?
It was your decision, then
Your religion?
do the crime
You
you
do
Sure,
have
you
a,
know,
like, a
you-
lot more freedom than other places though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't want to
Yeah, I mean,
live
like,
anywhere
Makes our
else.
society so very.
So it's not necessarily the programs that you have or giving, hey, listen guys, I'm almost done, I promise. So it's not the programs that make the Great Society. Why do you think, why would he have called it the Great Society then if he didn't think that these things were going to make it great?
You might have thought it maybe.
They definitely have a society that he directly affected 195 million people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
How is the programs not contributing to them?
Yeah. No,
Explain that.
And I'm not saying that the programs aren't making
That's
it
what
a
you just
great
agreed
society.
with. Is that,
I'm saying that the act of doing the program is what makes it a great society.
oh, no,
So it's already
definitely
great
the programs.
because you can affect 195 million people.
mm-hmm.
They didn't work, then he wouldn't programs are the sole purpose.
Okay, well, it's your opinion. I mean, neither one of y'all are wrong.
You're saying the same thing in a roundabout way.
So what we're going to do next is I'm going to number you guys off and
Abby four.
sure. You were probably going to be 4 anyways, but so I'm going to number you guys off and you're going to get into your groups. And so in these boxes over here, there's like different sheets of paper. So there's like 2 sets of things. The first set is the name of the act that was put through Congress and, came out. And then there's also a definition in here too. So you guys have to match them together and put them all together. And whoever does it correctly, I feel like I'm like,
Hello.
people were giving me crap in second period because apparently I didn't say that loud enough.
They just randomly put them all together.
Yes.
We're done.
So you have to do them correctly, and then you have whoever does it the fastest gets 10 points extra credit on their next test.
A whole letter.
Can we get a
Can
pick
you
on
put
her?
me with Paige?
No.
Can you put me with Paige?
No. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, Autumn, you're 2. 3, 4.
Wow.
1, 2, 3,
One.
4. Yeah, you're 1.
3 goes to 4. Tyler goes the rest of you.
So
What number are you?
Are you one?
the number
One
1.
started with
Yeah.
Timber. 2 is back where Dakota is, or where Eric, you're 2, right? Go to Eric. That's 2. Timber's 1.
I have Paige.
And then
He doesn't.
up over here, 3s.
Where are the
And
four?
then back here, the 4s.
Wait, where's 2?
Dude, I've
Back
been
where
growing
Eric
your
is.
Cheetos, Riley, and my mouth is on fire.
Hey Riley, you want your 4?
But they're good.
They're not hot.
Wait, why did we move
scared
over
that it
there?
was recording my stomach.
Can you get my drink?
Did you not eat? I don't know why I'm so hungry.
Would you like a Cheeto?
No, I'm okay, thank you though.
They're hot.
Okay, so I'm gonna,
Got the lights on?
No.
Yes.
yeah, go ahead and turn it on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me-
that one, that's good.
You guys are 1s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2s? When he gets back, he's 1 after Tyler.
Can you get my Dr. Pepper?
Oh my god.
Miss Thomas, I don't think you ever gave me extra credit for the last time you said you did.
Yes, I did. Chill out.
Okay, so I'm gonna come around and hand you guys your box, but don't start. Don't cheat.
Oh.
All right, fine, I'm not passing them out yet.
Okay.
No, because Autumn's gonna cheat.
Autumn.
I don't want to put a stumbling block in her way of her education,
Why don't you give her the box?
Brick,
I do.
rock.
You do? Why would you want to do that?
Because I'm going to be learning something.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like
I
one of
never
those
learned
concrete
anything
blocks
in
in front of her.
Also, if you're like second, third, or fourth, you still get extra credit. You just don't get as much. So don't quit
My ear is ringing.
after the first person.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, if you get second, third, or fourth.
Do you hear the
That's what I'm saying.
You get points if you're in second.
Yeah, so like first gets 10 points, and then
Talking to the camera.
what are you
So
doing?
no matter if you win or lose, you get points?
What?
So if
Yeah,
you
you
win,
get points whatsoever.
You get 10 extra points on your
Whether
next test.
you win or lose, you still get points.
oh, then I'm not gonna be proud of it.
Just the higher up you get, the more you get.
And first place.
I don't like spicy things. Are you ready to watch me this?
Okay, who wants missing?
Tyler.
Just Tyler. And then you're going after.
Joe's gone.
Well, he wasn't here.
Joe was
Joe
never
was
here
never
in the
here.
first.
Should I wait?
Huh? Oh, she got my doctor card.
Go ahead.
What are you
No,
talking
it's
about?
okay. Tyler's not gonna do anything anyway. Okay.
Water right to work. He went to the bathroom.
Oh.
Oh, he's in the bathroom.
All right, Nate. I think that was a good idea.
right before you call us over.
Yeah.
Should I do one?
Yeah.
Let me.
How many
make
times?
sure it's correct. I've never
Don't wait. Don't start yet. Wait till I tell you to go.
Next group.
Okay. Everybody hear that?
I got that. It's not on Super. I made like.
Are you?
what do we
I'm
do?
glad you're excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, good.
And oh god.
So the definitions of. It tastes good though. Give it back.
Wait, I think the smaller ones are
Just don't bring on quickly. Let
I think you
it
just dump it
Hey,
That sounds horrible.
why did I do this? I don't know. No, man.
Why not do that?
I make like almost half this bag.
It looks full. Look at that.
Nevaeh, you're not helping.
It really hurts. I'm. Can I?
What?
Act.
I don't know. Maybe.
Act.
Oh, you got it.
You can do them in the, what I'll do is I'll do them in the box.
Like once you get them right, you think.
Who's with Ashley?
I can't tell. You gotta call me off or call me over once you get all of them.
That's it? Tyler, get over here.
What?
My
I'm a
mouth
two.
is on fire.
I swear. I'm a 2.
But who's in 3?
Somebody over there needs to come over here. Not me.
I'm definitely a 2. I told you as soon as I got counted.
Who's behind you? Autumn?
I don't know.
Autumn, come over here.
No. He wasn't supposed to be a 2. He's supposed to be over there.
She's mentally insane. I
He
literally
was in the
told you
bathroom.
after I got
May
called.
I intervene?
No.
No.
Do this by myself.
I'm snitching on him.
Well,
No.
You know, I think you're fully capable of doing it yourself, but I still want you to have.
I'd rather not go with
Dakota will be back though.
Dakota knows.
She said I'd rather not deal with him.
Economic Opportunity Act.
I'm just, you know.
Let's find the ones we know. Air
I'm
quality.
really excited about how into this y'all are.
None of what?
I said I'm excited about how into this y'all are. Is it just because you're getting extra credit?
Nothing else to do.
No.
No. No?
My grade's actually good in this class. So I
Okay,
don't
Air
know.
Quality Act. Find something with like air quality.
Plus, I'm excited. I don't have to work. Maybe it's still raining.
It was raining.
Where do you work?
Autoville. I just started yesterday. Still training.
Required school safety program. No. Provided money in
Slavery?
for low income.
Would you like a pizza?
Oh, it created Jill.
I'm good. Thanks though.
They don't smell good at all.
Are those the hot ones or the jalapeno ones? I like the jalapeno ones.
They're burning my mouth.
I feel it in the back of my throat. I'm like,
What? You're done?
No.
no.
Oh. I was like, Yeah. Oh, Lord.
One, that's done.
Wait, where's the, where's the one I looked at? Oh. No, she said that there's multiple of the air quality.
So it would be, so the air quality.
We got two.
We got two.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. Right there.
Oh.
Wait, wait, let's try this one. I'm
Can't
sorry.
predict.
Taco got that one.
See, this is what happens. I get distracted on something else. Okay,
Are you just gonna quit? You're just gonna do two?
No, I was gonna go pee, but you know what?
I need to go pee.
I saw this one on the board.
I'm so tired.
Remember to see it on the board? Okay, I gotta find that one.
The conversation.
Oh, I know.
Medicare, we gotta find Medicare.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep just like a little book sitting on my desk, and I'm gonna just put quotes that I hear.
I know, right?
Because, you know, whenever I'm, you know, upset or having a bad day, I can just flip through those and
Yep.
make myself feel better.
Wait, Medicare is like only federal, not state, right?
Wow, I'm surprised you remember that.
Yes.
Transportation.
Excellent.
Hey, good job.
Is that one on here?
I don't. This one's wrong. What's those here?
Okay, now we should Medicaid.
Where's Medicare? Cause then that one involves the state. This is Medicare.
This is on welfare.
Make sure it says only, federal.
This is the this is Medicare. This is Medicare.
Established
And
funding.
Medicaid is for like everybody. Not just old people.
Okay. We'll put this one with this
Are
one.
you timing it?
We're done.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Why would
Uh-oh.
why would you, why?
What? What do you mean?
They're all right. Will you tell us what you're wrong if
Yeah.
that's wrong?
Okay, actually, can you read them to me?
Okay. So we got Economic Opportunity Act, created Job Corps, Vista. Okay. Wilderness Prevention Act,
Preservation.
Act, set aside over 9 million acres. Okay. Water Quality Act, required states to clean up their rivers. 24th Amendment, abolish poll taxes. Department of Transportation, created to deal with national air travel. 1968 voting rights, ended practice, required elementary and secondary acts, dedicated money for school textbooks.
Yep.
Clean Air Act, the federal government to establish emission standards. Civil Rights Act, outlawed discrimination. Highway Safety Act, set federal safety standards for the auto and tire industry.
I'll hold that.
Wait, we have way more.
I know, but you gotta.
Now I think you're right.
Are you done? You refixed it? Okay.
There was National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Standards. National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act.
Yeah.
Set federal safety standards. Corporation for Public Broadcasting was formed to fund educational TV.
Wait, what's that air one?
Omnibus Housing Act formed to administer federal housing programs. I said that wrong. This one.
No. Set federal air pollution.
Nope.
Okay, wait. We're back.
We're done. Oh, you're done. Again.
Department of Housing and Urban Development formed to administer.
Yes.
Okay. Appalachian Redevelopment Act required states to set up highway safety programs.
Wait. Read that again? No, that's wrong.
Wait.
Okay, we're done. Nope.
Why not?
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Hang on.
Hey, what?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
I was about to be like, why wouldn't that be? Would be targeted, and then national foundations on the arts would be created to financially assist painters. 1965 Migration Act ended national origin quota. Higher Education Act funded scholarships, and the Medicare Act established funding for medical expenses. And then this one, the Housing Act, was provided money for low-income housing.
Yep.
Air Quality Act set federal air pollution guidelines and extended federal enforcement.
Yep.
Yay, we did it.
What do we do now? Riley was in our group.
Okay.
She went to the bathroom.
So,
Do you want me to mix these up?
They did it?
yeah, they got first, so,
Can I please take the box?
yes, go for it. If that would make you happy, Paige, please do it.
Water quality. Oh no, that's water
I think that
quality.
goes
Not air quality.
A lot of these did similar things. What do I do now?
This one
You
and
just go sit back in your seat. We're gonna do something else in a minute.
Where give me my 10 points.
May I have 10 points as well?
You've got 10 points.
Okay. What about Riley? Don't forget about Riley.
No, forget about Riley.
I'm not giving you my water.
I'm actually adding it right here.
For myself.
Who wasn't the one,
How is it? Yeah.
10 in third?
Autumn. Where's Autumn?
Cause they got it.
Gavin, Jildez, and who was in that group? That group in the back.
Yeah. Wasn't Sydney with it?
No, they were last, I think, because they worked it. Huh?
Is it still recording?
Yes,
What's
it's
it,
still
Randall?
recording.
How do you get graded? Like, what did she say?
Finish this.
Your teacher?
He just gives me comments on what I can do better and stuff like that.
Oh, does he have to watch the whole thing?
I think it was Caleb.
Oh, he doesn't have to. I don't know.
Alright, so who?
Is he like,
Van,
that was bad? 0.
Crawford,
I needed those 10 points.
and
Riley.
Economic opportunity.
Right here.
I don't like spicy. No, a lot of spice.
I'm very picky about how much spice I put.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I was researching college. When I went to college, 75% graduate debt-free.
Riley, you won. How do you feel about that? Which one did you do? Do you remember?
Rails ready when you need
Gosh, I feel like with hot hands in your hands, you can't really do anything with this.
I tried to think.
What do you mean?
I got one of them.
You got one of them. Are y'all done?
No, I need you to.
We're almost done. We have 3 left.
Okay.
Can you come?
We mixed
No.
some of the
Tire, the highway. Yeah, some of those are kind of confusing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no. Okay. Can you read them out to me? It's easier for.
24th Amendment abolished the poll tax. Yeah.
Yes.
Medicare Act established funding for medical expenses and older citizens and those on welfare.
Yes.
Department of Transportation created to deal with national air, rail, and highway transportation. Immigration Act outlawed discrimination in public accommodations.
Ooh.
Someone's gonna get broke. Someone's gonna get hurt. One.
Okay, we hold that.
Stick this one here, that way we know that that's it. Just keep this one.
National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety required states to set up highway safety program.
Nope.
Wow.
Can I see that?
We're horrible at this.
Good try, though.
Wilderness preservation set aside over 9 million acres.
Forest land.
Chill out. 2 of you should not be in that seat.
It's gonna break and it's gonna be funny.
She gets it every day. They call seat backs.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So,
Whatever.
I don't care.
Sorry.
Wilderness
They have a vacation.
Act set aside over 9 million
And I
acres.
got somebody on top.
Air Quality Act set federal air pollution guidelines.
I just wanted to say you had all
Higher
kinds of
Education Act funded scholarships and low interest loans for college students.
You're gonna survive.
National Foundation on the blah blah blah, created to financially assist painters, musicians. Elementary and secondary, directed money to schools for textbooks, library
Yes.
materials.
That's gotta be right. That's gotta be right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good. 'Cause that's
Corporation for Public Broadcasting was formed to fund educational TV and radio broadcasting. Water Quality Act required states to clean up their rivers.
I still don't think it was too warm to snow.
Yes. Highway Safety Act directed the federal government to establish emission standards.
Up there, but
Would
nice.
that be
So
a Clean
then
Air
it would
Act?
be this one.
Would that be
The
this?
Highway Safety Act required states to set up highway safety. And then the one that we just put away would be
The housing.
this one, National
No.
Traffic and Motor
Yeah, there you go.
Vehicle, directed the federal government. So,
No.
okay, it'll be a different one.
What does that say?
What about this one? Would this one go with the something housing act? Whatever
Can I
that
see
was.
them?
This one.
I'll be able to figure out what we
This one. We're good with that
have.
one.
Wait, did you go through all of the? This one's right.
This one?
That's not right.
I'll take that out.
Okay. Wait, so wait, what's the other one that is over there about the economic stuff?
Is this right?
Yes.
So we got these three.
So we need,
That's fine.
wait, so that one's right?
Is this it? So
Yes, this one's right.
And this
This
is
one?
right?
Civil Rights Act,
So we need to do,
1964.
National
Immigration,
Origin-
wait.
origin.
so immigration outlawed discrimination in public accommodations.
would be
Nope.
No?
Are these the ones we ain't using?
Oh, it's the literary tests and stuff.
Yeah. Wait,
No?
seriously?
Think about immigration. So
You got more
whenever-
over here.
So
sorry.
with no, you're good. With immigration,
Would this be
I'm trying to think. Do you guys know what a quota is?
like standard?
So do you guys remember anything happening in the 1920s with immigration?
No?
Didn't they have to like
Is it gonna snow?
regulate how many like, Japanese come in?
Not just Japanese, but so there were national quotas.
Would they have this?
Oh, okay, so
This one? Civil
This
Rights Act
is gonna go with
1964, outlaw discrimination.
That's it.
Got one.
1965 Voting Act right ended the practice of requiring voters to
That's the literary.
pass
literary.
Yeah,
literature.
that's right.
Okay.
We can move those up a little bit.
Okay, this is this needs to be. We need another.
Okay, so
This is one right here.
this is one.
Yep.
That one's right.
Keep.
We need one for the immigration and this one. This Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act.
Are they done?
Here's the
Did they get it right?
tire.
Where's the tire thing?
Check everything.
Immigration.
Good?
National origin quota.
That,
Mm-hmm.
this.
Created jobs.
Ready?
Vista. Head
Origin.
Start.
Okay.
That
Oh, okay, and then the economic is gonna be that one.
like Clean Air Act. So
Nope.
So then,
Could be this one. Wouldn't it?
yeah, and then
This one,
and
yeah.
then this one's
This
gonna
one
be
goes
for
to
that one.
this.
Clean Air Act.
Okay.
Standards for motor emissions.
Okay, we
Done.
got it now.
Okay.
Second place, right?
Yep.
So, they got it?
Yep.
God bless.
Shake the box.
Hurry.
We should shake the box.
You can if you want.
Wait, I gotta get a picture of it. We're getting a picture.
This is too hard.
It's hard.
Oh, we're gonna have that on.
I don't like it.
I'm sorry.
That's about close I'm gonna get.
Okay. Can you read them out to me?
Quality Air Act.
You
Set
weren't
federal
ready.
air.
Let's play your video.
Oh, are you not ready?
I'm not fully ready.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, okay, okay. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
It's so blurry.
They're right there.
Praise God.
You shook the box. But I don't want to shake it more.
Oh, listen, don't lose my stuff.
I'm not losing it. Guess what? I
I
got
learned sign language.
right here. It's the 24th Amendment. There you go.
showed me.
Go did another one.
I'm impressed.
Can I hold them?
Okay.
They make a satisfying noise.
I have to fix this, okay? This night messed up my foils. Next semester is one of your teachers gonna.
It smelled like snow
The high
earlier.
tomorrow is
Yeah.
47.
People didn't believe me. I
Was
was
it
like,
raining?
I'm wearing something warm
It's supposed to
tomorrow.
rain all day.
Let's check for the weather in Charlotte.
This night,
What?
Next semester, does one of your teachers have to come in and watch you do your class?
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Excuse me. Remember when
It's
Mr. Lee first
70 right
teacher
now
had to come in and watch
in
us?
Charlotte.
He had to conduct the whole band.
Mm-hmm.
He conducted Magnificent Seven.
Kennedy, why are you going to Charlotte?
Because
I
I'm
went to
going with my
Charlotte.
apparel class.
I went to
We're
Charlotte.
gonna IKEA.
I went to Charlotte
Oh,
last year.
IKEA is so fun.
I've never been.
I went
What do we do now?
to Charlotte yesterday.
Just hang out until everybody finishes. You know, Josh could do this a lot quicker if somebody would help him. You know?
Miss Knight, what's your first name?
Wow, Timber. Why do you need to know my first name?
Her middle name is Elizabeth. That's not her first.
That's a lie. Her first name is Beth.
No, it's not.
That's what I go by.
Her middle name is Elizabeth. I could go by that. We could have the same
You
name.
look like you're a
Laurel.
Kira.
A Laurel? Okay, that
No,
was
you
offensive.
definitely don't look like a Laurel. You look like a Kira or something. Oh yeah.
Check it.
Don't go digging in my stuff, Autumn. Quit.
Autumn. Autumn. Autumn.
Beth, right?
No, that's not her middle name.
Unreal.
Everybody's staring at me though.
I think you've got
Blank
it.
Elizabeth Knight.
Right?
No.
I don't like
Kira
my first name.
Elizabeth. What?
Starts with an E.
Emma.
Nope.
Your name, Emily.
Nope.
My friend's name is Emily.
Eliza.
Her name's
Eliza,
not
Elizabeth? Or
Elizabeth.
Eliza,
All right, they're
Elizabeth?
good.
Okay.
Eliza, Elizabeth, that would be a
Did y'all
terrible
just
name.
give up?
They got fourth place, so they still get points.
That's fair. Josh kind of tried.
Do
But
they get D
I've
and F?
been trying.
Do they get D and F, or do they get fourth place?
You get a
Good job.
Emma. Did we already say it?
They got D and F.
there we go.
Let's look up E names.
2 points. 2 points. Yes.
I've been trying this whole
I
time.
know. I'm appreciate the fact that you tried towards the end there, Josh.
What will we bring it up to?
Okay.
All right, I'm saying Ella. I'm saying
Go ahead. Actually, before you sit down, go ahead and grab a Chromebook real quick.
Ella.
I'm sorry, Timber.
You got me a Chromebook.
Is it Ella?
Nope. Not Ella.
Elena.
Nope.
Emily.
What? Sorry.
Emily.
Nope.
Evelyn. Lyra.
Nope.
I was gonna say that.
Will you give me one?
It's a name that can be either a guy. Oh my gosh, it is pouring.
Elliot,
Elliot.
you said guy.
Well, it could be a guy or a girl name. It's spelled differently.
Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron.
My first
Wow.
Oh God! Just told Pelican outside.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna sneeze.
No, you won't.
All right. Listen.
Aaron.
So this last thing that you guys are gonna work on, the first page of it is the first question. You just kind of summarize LBJ's biography. That's on. It gives you the website to go for that. So make sure that you're going to the places that are on here. It'll make it a lot easier for you, I promise. And then the second part of this is there's a chart. So on the far left-hand side, it's going to tell you what like subheading each of these things are going to be under. So education, healthcare, different stuff like that. So you're going to go and find different laws and legislation that fall under those categories. Talk about what they do in this first column, and then whether they were a success or a failure, and how that kind of happened. Whether it, had to go back through Congress to get passed, or if it went through the first time, or different stuff like that. So, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thank you. It's gonna look at you, is that what you said? Well,
It's just one through dance.
What? No.
you know, AJ doesn't appreciate you talking about him all that much.
Google?
I appreciate
Yeah,
you
there's
watching.
just on tap.
AJ is creepy, okay? He just follows you around. Did you just say it was like a man?
It
Who
didn't
said
work
that?
for me, bro.
What's no. I
You know what'd be good?
don't. What?
Fucking tacos.
Some tacos?
Will they talk about that something like that?
You know,
Your pants?
What?
It didn't work.
oh my
See
god.
how much I ate?
Oh my god. Go help me.
Y'all are driving me nuts.
You were just so good at eating well.
Yeah.
Like, it was no big deal.
Oh, that's not my
Control shit. Control shirt.
I-
H.
My mouth is good. Can I have some more?
Nick, control search H.
A little sick. He's like, no, it's
Don't
okay.
like contrast.
I don't even know when after they just died that they will leave. Oh my god, that's so many. Can I have one?
It didn't work either.
I'm scared.
It's good.
My mouth is watering.
What didn't work?
Showing her
There's this one. Yeah, it said short size.
Where do we find this?
It's written on the sheet.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah.
Paige, I don't think they would have let you pass kindergarten if you couldn't read. So I know you can read.
I am actually borderline illiterate.
That is easier to read.
Borderline illiterate. Okay.
Why use it?
I can't spell at all. Ask Miss Smathers.
Well, heck,
You're hating on yourself a little bit too much, Paige.
oh yeah, that's fine. If you log out with it, eye contact mode on, it stays on when you log into the next.
No. I'll get rid of it. Maybe listen to music like you play.
I know, I've seen it.
No.
I know, it's terrifying.
Play some good music.
Give us another. You can press control search H.
Do it. And it goes.
It just puts it on contrast mode.
Anybody got there?
Do you want it sharper?
I'll never listen to Harmony back up. I need to work, I'm sorry, I'm not working.
It's my favorite Elton John song.
I'm positive, thank you.
I also like Gracie, which you should play after Harmony.
What's going on?
She's playing Elton John.
Paige starts crying.
Well, I am going to because they're really spicy and I have no more Dr. Pepper.
Why is that giving me it?
Is that a 6 or a B?
I don't like this one.
Right there.
That's a 6, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 6.
His vocals aren't very good.
I think it's
Paige, are you having flashbacks? Oh,
for what?
from the concert? Huh?
You didn't sing.
Oh, well.
She would have cried.
Oh.
This is my favorite Elton John song.
Worked out really nice.
Well, since we're
Oh, yeah.
studying Woodstock, I get the decision of the music, we should play my playlist. So it's literally all
If we right here, or do we scroll down?
Control search H.
Scroll down. Yeah, just search. Just try that.
That's history.
You like that? just honestly, just Google or like search LBJ, and then it'll probably
Where do I go?
on. Hang on one
No,
second.
but continue. You can always change
I love Donald
Yeah.
Trump.
You just press this
Let's see this real quick.
You want this song, Miss Smothers?
Control.
Play Grace Hill, go. Grace Hill.
Control.
Well, pay attention to pictures.
Nick, did it work?
Yeah, I know, he put up some weird videos.
Nick,
Oh.
did it work?
Yeah.
Control, Alt.
Kennedy, are you on the White House website? Just like put in the search bar. No, not that one. The like on the website. Yeah. Lyndon B. Johnson.
How do you spell that?
Refresh button.
Lyn DON B
Dude, the
and then
best
Johnson.
thing at Woodstock was Santana, gold sacrifice,
Did you press control?
story behind it. The dude was acid.
Do you know where to go? Whenever everybody's asking this question, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Whenever you're doing the first biography part, whenever you go to the WhiteHouse.gov website, put it in the website search bar, and just type Lyndon B. Johnson in it.
L-Y-N-D-O-N.
Yes.
L-Y,
D-O-N.
N-D-O-N.
would it be?
So, what do you know about Woodstock? Do you know the right music?
Honestly, I don't really know much about it yet, but I'm gonna learn about it so that I can teach you it, because I can't teach you it if I don't know it.
Why? Like,
Is there a lot of pressure on that?
Kind of scares me.
yeah, because if you say something wrong, I'm gonna have to tell you.
That's fine.
I
Please
didn't
tell
find
me.
anything.
But just do it in a nice way. Just don't be mean about it, you know?
But if you're teaching the subject, you gotta